Yeah. Since you can't bail it, keep it, but you need enough room to get people on both sides and also slide it in.
Right. This is my backup to my backup. I grabbed the one I wanted as I walked out the door, and I don't know what I did with it, so
It's in your driveway.
it's probably in my driveway.
Just don't drive over it.
That's exactly what will happen when I come looking for.
Recording in progress.
Crap.
Sounds
Well,
official.
there you go.
Just outside of Burlington.
Just that. Just proposal.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, no. It was a year, someone talked about doing one where it's like a new kind of rock, and maybe have like system in the basement's existing.
Oh, I would never fix
Someone
it.
said something.
Yeah.
Really nice to see it.
It was Keats.
I did work it last year.
Has he lived in the area or has he been?
Last year, ending last December, I did the report, like, figured out it was a 4%.
At 6 o'clock on Tuesday, September 9th, I call the select board meeting to order. Agenda changes or additions. We have additions to the signature file.
Yep, and the Conservation Commission originally requested to be on the agenda to sign the easement deed for the White House Conservation. But that signature needs to be notarized, and Ned couldn't actually be here tonight, so he got it notarized earlier. And if you just make a motion to approve it, then Carl, I just need your signature notarized tomorrow. We could probably do that with Julie in the office.
So I should have crossed it off.
So, yeah, I crossed it off, but we ended up being able to squeeze it in.
All right, is there anything pressing from the public before we get started? Yes, Norman?
Hi, Norman Cloutier. My wife Wendy and I own property up on Cleveland Hill Road. We're trying to resolve a situation with an abandoned communications tower. I don't believe the town has any direct involvement, but I thought you should be aware of the situation, and I was hopeful maybe someone may have some thoughts to help us resolve it. So if I can give you some real quick summary of this.
Sure.
Okay, so somewhere 12, 13, 14 years ago, I'm not quite sure exactly when, Tamworth Wireless received some funding from, I believe it was the Tamworth Foundation, to expand wireless communications in town. We were approached about having a tower placed on one of our parcels right at the top of Cleveland Hill Road to provide a signal to folks beyond there. Fast forward to the last, I don't know, 5 years or so, but Tamworth Wireless, as I understand it, was dissolved, and assets were transferred to Hub 66, as we understand it. Hub 66 is no longer operating that tower. When we approached them about removing it, they said it was not theirs, that it was still with Tamworth Wireless or their successors. I believe that was Declan O'Connell and Grasshopper, I think it was the... Long story short, everyone's pointing fingers. Grasshopper says it's not their property, it belongs to Hub 66. Hub 66, it says it's not their property, it belongs to someone else.
Is there still equipment on it?
And yes, so the tower has not been maintained for many years. So it has a small solar array for, I believe, power generation. That's completely obscured by foliage and it's overgrown, et cetera, et cetera. So The tower has not had any maintenance done in many, many years. It has, plenty of signs saying don't touch, danger, et cetera, on it. So again, I don't believe the town is directly involved in this, and more than anything, just making folks aware. I don't know if there's a public safety issue in there, again, given all the warning signs on the tower and such. But we really don't know where to turn other than enlisting lawyers and starting that path, which we certainly don't want to go down. But we do have a tower that's on the property. No one claims ownership of it. We allowed Tamworth Wireless to erect it, and we took the property, not to give too many details, please, you have your own agenda tonight, but there's approximately 15 acres. It was in current use. We took a small section out of current use so that tower could be erected there. We'd simply like the tower to be removed, put the property back into current use, and perhaps sell the property or what have you. But we do have a 70, 80-foot tower, metal tower with the guidelines and all of the equipment still on it, on our property right at the summit of Cleveland Hill. And other than dialing up the lawyers, we have really no idea how to go about getting this tower removed from the property. I think you all know as much, or probably more than I do, about Tamworth Wireless, its history and its successors at all. So
I think it's probably the same tower as the tax collector has been trying to...
What, please?
I believe it's the same issue we're dealing with at that tower or another where the tax collector cannot determine who the owner is. So we're all in the dark about the towers.
In this case, because it is on our property, we are taxed. Mm-hmm. We have been paying, initially when the tower was first put up, we would submit our tax bill for it to, I think back at those days, ancient history, Dennis Quinn and folks from early Tamworth Wireless. They would reimburse us for that, but that fell apart at some point. So long story short, we are taxed for that tower on our property, and we'd like to have it removed. We're looking for any and all thoughts on how we may be able to go about getting that tower removed from our property. And as I said, I don't believe the town has a direct involvement, but I suspected you should be aware of the situation, and if you have any suggestions to compensate for our careless generosity.
Good generosity going on, yeah.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah.
Kim, can we just ask a general question, because we're dealing with another tower that's also on private property, but I don't believe that property owners was taxed for it. Somehow it was taxed separately. Can you explain just in general how a situation might come where property owners allow something to be there, but one property owner is taxed for it and the other one isn't?
I don't know if, I'm not sure on that situation with the one we're trying to
Resolve.
I know with the AT&T towers, the people who have those on their property are either they have AT&T tower directly taxed, the bill go directly to them.
Yeah.
Some of them are finicky about it sits on their property, on their land.
Yeah.
So what they do is take a portion and figure out the proration on their own tax bill
Right.
and send the difference to AT&T for that parcel of land, but the tower itself has its own tax bill.
So it boils down to whatever negotiation happened between the property owner and whoever put a tower up?
That's my guess, yeah,
Okay.
that's
I
my-
would suspect that. In our case, we were negligent in documentation. We allowed the
Yeah.
tower to be erected with the understanding it would be moved and c'est la vie.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Okay?
thank you for alerting us to the
Alerting us,
situation. And if we can figure anything out, we'll let you know.
Okay. Thank you again.
We are working on it from a different angle, similar situation, so there might be resolution.
Yeah.
Because we have neither party, neither Hub 66 nor the Tamworth Wireless successors have any documentation as to who owns what. So they're all saying it's not ours.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
thanks.
Thanks.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
wait, come back for a second. Come back for a
Norman.
second. Back in 2020, you signed a memorandum of understanding with them. So I would look for that and see if there's any information on that, to see, what the ownership was, what the agreement was, and everything else.
Was that with Hub 66 or with Tamworth Wireless?
It was Tamworth Wireless and Grasshopper.
Oh, okay.
That's July 25th of 2020.
Thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ed. That may help.
That may help.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to new business. We are going to discuss TCNA's sublet lease agreement renewal. Maureen Diamond.
Hi there, that's what I'm here for. I am Maureen Diamond and I'm a member of the TCNA Board of Directors. And the letter that you see on this topic is word for word what it was a year ago, with the exception that Leslie Jones is no longer our chair. You see Mary Eads' name there, and the dates have changed. That everything else is exactly the same. So I thought I'd ask if you have any questions, or if you just want to offer us the opportunity to sublease space in our building for another calendar year.
Have you, I should know, but I don't, what kinds of services have you been subleasing? I remember some of the thoughts that were originally coming up.
I'll be brief. We never expected any revenue from this. We never counted on any revenue, and we haven't had any yet. We have no subtenants yet. We've spent the year working as people who are novices in this, trying to understand what we needed in terms of certificates of insurance and waivers and things like that. And we worked with Andrew Dean, who also helped June Aprilli when we were writing the amended lease for this, and who helped us a year ago draft this letter or accept this letter. We've worked with him on a sublease agreement. So we now have those pieces in place. The three services that we wanted to provide, based on community feedback, were podiatry, mental health, and maternal and child care. Podiatry has been tough, despite all of Julie's contacts. She thought she had a provider who wanted to come here for some services, and that has not come through. Podiatry care is tricky because if the large part of the population that might receive those services is diabetic, and that opens up a whole need for special certifications and things like that. So that's one reason it's been hard. The providers are scarce. Mental health is the one where we have someone who wants to sign a sublease this month. She is a licensed clinical social worker who's based here in Tamworth. Her therapy is walking therapy, and we're about to get to a time of the year where she may not be able to do that outside as much as she has this summer. So she's looking for a space that she can rent for a few afternoons a month in case the weather doesn't support her outdoor practice. And then the third area is maternal and child, and we're still talking to other clinical social workers too. We hope that that will increase. The third area was maternal and child health, and we've had a lot of conversations over the last year with Shakopee Valley midwives who are based in Lymanton, Maine. They would like to expand their practices to Tamworth. They have the necessary certifications, licensure in the state of New Hampshire for that. And they have a new clinician, Daniel Mason, who recently became a certified nurse midwife and is thrilled about being able to serve people in this town where she grew up. So they are working to try to get to know the community and to let the community get to know them. And to that end, they've been doing monthly parenting classes out of our classroom. So they're not really subleasing any office space yet, but we do think that that's going to go somewhere in the next year. So
Sounds great.
that's still what those three areas are what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You want to make a motion?
I make a motion, we authorize TCNA to sublease per the terms of the letter dated September 9th, 2025.
Second. Any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Barry, yes.
Schaefer, yes?
Yes, yes.
Roberts, yes.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Maureen.
So Maureen, that'll be in the signature file and I'll just walk it over tomorrow and
Thank you.
Mary can sign.
All right, next on the agenda, 2026 cost of living adjustment.
Yeah, so the actual COLA will be released October 15th, but the projected is between 2.7 and 3% for 2026. And I just thought it would be helpful, if you guys are ready to take a vote on it tonight, for budgeting purposes, department heads can kind of plan accordingly. Just as a reminder, our policy is that anybody who received an increase, prior to the last 6 months, in the last 6 months from June to December would not be subject to a cost of living adjustment, but if not, it would apply to all employees.
So released by who? Is it Department of Labor or somebody who?
The
Social Security.
Thank you.
Administration.
This one's Secretary of State, Social Security Administration.
Any idea what surrounding towns are doing for their employees?
It looks like 3% is kind of
Is that what we did last year?
that's what we did last year.
And, right now, I can't think of the term either, consumer price index,
Yeah.
the 2.7, I think, right now, but some projections are for inflation to increase a little.
This is less about the rate and more about process. I thought last year at this time, we said that we were gonna let the department heads know that either they were gonna set the rate or we were gonna set it, but what ended up is half the departments and committees left it to us, and then the other half did it themselves.
Right.
So we had to check in with every department head to say, did you include that in there or not? And some of them did and some of them didn't, so it'd just be great for you to have that conversation.
Yes,
So that
exactly.
we're dealing with apples and apples
That's kind of
when
what
we get these budget numbers in.
Right, so as I'm meeting with department heads, it's just helpful for me to be able to say, so when they say, what about my staff, or,
Yeah.
I have been saying, so you can always request a non-public with the select board to talk about specific individuals, and, ask for a merit raise. Otherwise, that COLA is a safe bet to increase, so, but without knowing exactly what you folks have approved, the board can do no increase, you can choose whatever you'd like, so.
What's
don't
the
have-
feeling? Do you want to wait on it or go tonight?
Well, we will have some, we'll have a number of departments in before October 15th. So
Right.
some guidance would be useful. Or maybe we just tell everybody, we'll update your budget the second half of October, don't factor in any. That's one way to just sit and wait.
Right.
But it just makes things cleaner to have it set now.
It
Yeah.
helps to look at real
Perfectly fine with
numbers.
setting it at 3% right now.
Yeah, I think, I agree with that.
I thought, I can't say this for sure, but in the past, I think we've talked about how Tamworth tends to be on the more conservative side of rates anyway, when we look at department heads. So I think my recommendation is,
Yeah. I make a motion to set the COLA at 3% for 2026.
Second?
Any more discussion? Roll call vote.
You say yes?
There, yes.
Schaefer, yes?
Yes, yes.
Roberts, yes.
All right.
So you'll ask them just to fold that into their,
yep,
Into
so
their budgets.
when I'm going over the budgets with department heads, because we always do that before we present to you folks, so I make sure those numbers. Last year was a little messy with trying to figure out who had an increase, who didn't,
Right.
so just thank you, I appreciate it. Makes my job easier, so.
Well, that's important.
Appreciate that.
All right, moving to old business. Energy Committee EV charging station bid results with Gabrielle Watson.
Thanks for letting me come and present again. I have actually two small items that I want to bring up before talking about the EV charging stations. One is that we have a new alternate member who's come forward and expressed their interest in joining in with the committee. And he's actually present here tonight.
Hello.
TJ McAndrew, and has a more formal name, but we would like to request that, but he's gone his whole life as TJ, so that's how we'll all know him, but the formal request that the select board approve the appointment of an alternate member. We currently have 5 members on our committee, and that feels like a good number to have at this point.
I move to make TJ McAndrew an alternate member of the Energy Committee.
Second. Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Barry, yes.
Schaefer, yes?
I just yes.
Roberts, yes. Done.
Thanks for stepping in.
Thank you.
The other is a very, very quick update on the Clean Energy Expo and Home Tour that we just hosted this last week. Our intent was to help homeowners who are trying to save energy on their electricity bills and their fuel bills to find out about what their neighbors have done and learn from their neighbors. We also hosted an expo at Runnels Hall with contractors who do that kind of work, encouraging people to come and find out, directly meet with contractors. And we had a representative from NH Saves there as well. We had pretty good attendance, about 16 to 20 people there. We had 38 people sign up for a home tour, and probably about half of them showed up given the rainy weather that we had on Saturday when we were hosting this. But we're very encouraged and excited to be promoting the work of our local contractors who've done a lot of work on homes in town. So I think this is the beginning of a new thing that the Energy Committee will be promoting going forward. We also, I want to mention, did this in collaboration with partners in Madison and Moulton Borough and Sandwich. So we had support from other towns promoting it and also recruiting homes to be on Expo. So we had 4 homes here in Tamworth. We had 3 homes in Madison and 2 homes in Sandwich. So next year we hope it will be in Moulton Borough as well. So overall, good success.
Sorry, Cameron, what did you call that?
Clean Energy Home Tour and Expo. And you never know how to brand these things. We wanted it to, it's like, you're gonna save money, you know.
Our home was clean because I vacuumed the whole house before.
Yes. Our cleaner wasn't able to come, so it was mostly this one over here that did all the cleaning. So thank you for that indulgence. So the EV chargers, we did come before you at the last select board meeting, and I wanted to give you just a little bit of a recap of like where we came from and where we are today. In August of 2024, we prepared a proposal with select board approval for 4 EV chargers in the back end of the Tamworth town office parking lot that was going to have 100% funding from the Department of Transportation and the Tamworth Foundation. 20% from the Tamworth Foundation, 80% from the Department of Transportation. Under concerns about parking space dedication, the select board decided to withdraw the warrant article that would have approved accepting 100% funding, and came and said to the Energy Committee, please, we suggest you come back with a more modest proposal of only 2 spaces because 4 feels like a lot for the town. Given our limited parking availability in the village area. In June of 2025, we sought select board approval to seek electric vehicle charging station bids for a more modest 2 parking space proposal, and we got a 4-to-1 vote approving that. We did receive 3 bids from the request for bids that we solicited, and then we made a presentation at the last select board meeting, which did not have a full select board membership. There were 4 or 5 members. We got a 2-to-2 vote, which by select board rules means it was turned down. Of the 3 bids that we requested, the Tamworth Energy Committee, particularly myself and John Coombe, one of our engineer members, did an analysis of them and prepared a comparison chart that you guys have access to, looking at the various aspects of those bids, particularly cost, quality of the vendor, and sorry, what's the third one? Their reputation for uptime of the chargers themselves, and other aspects of their bids. So we have made a recommendation for a preferred vendor, and we'd also like to ask the select board to authorize us to seek 100% funding from non-taxpayer sources for the EV chargers. The intent and plan is for 100% of all electricity costs and maintenance and operation costs to be paid for out of the service chargers of the users of the EV chargers. So the EV chargers the price will be pegged at a place that's going to allow us to recoup all of our electricity and operations and maintenance costs. So the bids came in about $10,000 apart, the three of them, starting at a low of about $15,000 and a high of $35,000. We actually believe that the middle bid was the preferred bid for a variety of reasons, even though it's not the lowest cost bid. It's an experienced EV charging station installer, and they're using hardware that has a very high 97 plus uptime rate. They've installed EV chargers at Loon Mountain, so they have local experience. That's been positive. They offer turnkey solutions, so they do all of the site preparation and installation, and then actual commissioning of the site, setting up a dashboard for the town to be able to manage the site. And they, different from the other two vendors, are proposing more modest EV charging stations, so they're not going to be super high powered, but they will use less of the excess available space on our electrical panel, but sufficient for somebody who's visiting the town, who wants to spend some time at the farmer's market or go to the theater or spend some time at the library. Today, about 1.5% of cars, passenger cars in New Hampshire are electric. The projection for 5 years out, 2030, is that 5 to 10% of all cars will be electric, so they're coming to our communities, they're coming to our state. We live in a charging desert, which means that anybody who wants to charge their car has to go to Conway or to Meredith in order to charge. So we would be putting ourselves on the map as a destination for people who want to be charging their cars. They're driving around anyway. They're going to spend some time at the farmer's market or at the Tamworth bakery. The data shows that local businesses gain between 1.5 to 3% in business when there's a local charger that's within 100 meters of their place of operation. And being a small village, pretty much everything in our village district is within 100 meters of where we will have our charging station. So we can anticipate a lot more foot traffic and a bit more revenue for our local businesses. Not that we have as many as we'd like right now, but we can always hope. So that's my wrap up, and welcome for any questions that you might have.
So I have a question. I've pulled up the EV charging map, and it is a crazy desert. You're right. I don't have an electric vehicle. I have some friends of mine that do, and they tell me when you plug in your destination, your GPS, it'll tell you, you can't get there, and then it'll help factor in your route with whatever charging stations are along the way. You kind of plan that route. Not owning one of these, I would assume that a charging station that gave me the most rapid charge possible would be what I would probably be looking for. I'm trying to get to here to the mountain. I want to find a fast charging station. Right now, if they're coming up 16, there's no options, really. What I'm wondering about is in the future, when other towns start doing this as well, and you start having pop-up 16, would be more advantageous to have a fast charger that does allow for those people that just want to come in, get their 15-minute charge and go, as opposed to limiting it to the slower chargers.
Yeah.
And my second question, again, is on the bid packages that I remember from last meeting, KTT had a 5-year warranty, where Guardian, if I remember right, had a 1-year warranty.
3, 1, and 1.
3, 1, and 1. And there was I wish I had the document in front of me, I'm sorry. But it seemed like with the added support that KTT had, that the delta wasn't that far off. And I didn't know if the spending a little more money for KTT actually would make more sense because of the increased warranty. Because one of the concerns I have is that when the warranty is up, now we have these chargers that are going to take even more, assuming that the vote passes, even more effort to maintain and more money to maintain, as opposed to having an extended warranty.
So I'll take those in turn. Fast chargers cost an awful lot of money to install, so we would be looking at not only an upgrade to our electricity service to the town office, which might be $50,000, but also the charger itself. So you're looking at about $100,000 for a fast charger. And a level 2 charger, fast charger is called level 3. Level 2 charger is still on AC current, and is designed as what people call a destination charger. You're going to be lingering at that charger for about an hour, 2 hours, which lends itself to you're visiting the library, you're spending some money at the bakery, you're visiting town office, you're attending a show at Barnstormers. So it's more geared towards the slow pace that Tamworth has today. If we were on Route 16, a fast charger would totally make sense, and there has been a place in Ospey that had fast chargers planned to go in right by the, what's that?
The lights by Ocean State.
Citizens, the old Citizens Bank.
Yeah, and they may still,
They have them there.
they have them installed, but they're not operational.
Okay, great, thank you, I didn't know that.
And they're hopeful to get them operational again, at which point it would be great, because we need fast chargers on 16. But for a small town, the level 2 is really the more appropriate kind of charger for our context. In terms of the better warranty, there absolutely, it's better to have a good warranty. We looked at the reputation of the businesses and what they had to offer, and the cost and the quality of the uptime, as much as we were able to discover, and sort of balanced those 3 factors. And the middle one seemed to be the better option. If you want to spend more money, you're going to get more value from that. It is close to $35,000. And we would need to raise that money.
What's the lifespan of a charger?
Roughly 10 years is the estimate of what we have. It depends on the quality of the operation and maintenance, which is why uptime percentage is such an important thing to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
The 97 plus uptime rate of the middle, I'm forgetting the vendor's name, it was very compelling to us.
There's some questions
Guardian.
from Becky on the screen there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so she's curious if it's true under New Hampshire law that someone has to stay with the car at an EV charging station while the car charges.
That's not the case.
Okay. Is it also true that the area where the chargers are located have to have lights on at all times during the night?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi, Walker from Tamworth. Sorry, I just went to the dentist, but, and I should have asked this in committee, but are there federal rebates for these municipal charging stations? Are you sure? Because I was just thinking it and looked it up, and it's kind of murky, but it is listed, it does say there's municipal, but there might be more money if you can do it this year.
There's a possibility that there might be a 30% federal direct pay rebate, which would be a reimbursable thing. I would have to research that. I don't recall that being the case, but I'll look into it.
You are probably right. It just, I listened to a whole podcast today about this kind of thing, and I thought, oh my God, did we check that? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Much of the Clean Energy Federal grants have been withdrawn, and the ones that are in the pipeline, which this is not, I think they'd have to be complete construction by later this month, I forget.
Yeah, there's different, I know there's rolling deadlines.
And,
Yeah.
and they were all instituted months and months ago, so the short answer is no.
Yeah.
I just had a question on how the billing works. Is that something the town gets involved in, or is that something they provide a dashboard for, or from whatever company we would?
There would be a dashboard.
Okay.
The town would still get an energy bill, so the town would be paying its energy bill, and then the town would also get revenue from the EV chargers.
But I mean the billing, like the EV charge, so the, whatever income comes in, our finance clerk has an account that it's gonna go into?
I don't know the details on
Okay,
how it
I
gets
was
worked
just
out.
curious how that worked.
On the backside, maybe it's a new account that gets created for a vendor that we would have. So the EV charging company is managing the incoming revenues that
Yeah.
are coming. And then I believe typically once a month, they would be sending revenues to the town. And so it probably would make sense to be accounting for that separately in some way.
Yeah, I am only asking because all my online services, I have a separate account for. And in that account, I see what's coming in. That's how I know when the bank has processed it, and I can process my transactions. And then, but the finance clerk does have to, with my help as well, reconciling my side, does reconcile that bank statement on her side too. So I just wasn't sure how that worked with the EV stations. That's all.
Gabrielle, can you tell us a little bit more about the maintenance plan that is proposed with this, specifically around snow removal and other areas like that? We get snow dumped on, are they gonna come out right away and clear it out? I'm worried about Rick having or whoever the maintenance person ends up being.
Yeah, so the parking spaces are the responsibility of the town, they're the owner, the town owns them. So snow removal would not be any different. What there would be are protective bollards in front of the equipment so that a snowplow won't crash into the electric charging station. So that's not the responsibility of the electric vehicle charging company at all. That's
So then the berm that would be created from that, I'm assuming, I don't have the chargers in my head of what exactly they look like, but I'm assuming the berm would create a snowpack situation that would have to be removed at some point between the bollards and the charger itself.
I mean, I would think that you would go perpendicular to the charger, so you're going away from the charger. You're not packing snow onto the charger because you want to.
Sure, but just as you're
Maintain.
driving by, if you're winging to the right, it's gonna throw snow. I mean, if you wing to the left, hopefully not.
Yeah.
Um,
My experience in Mass.
Right, so shovel it away.
Right.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Kind of like plowing in front of a garage door, you still have to,
There's that little
Scrape
lip
it.
of snow you gotta go back.
Yeah.
so there probably would be some.
Yeah, I'm just picturing a bunch of snow packed in there that someone has to go and excavate,
Snow
unless
blower,
the
something.
charging cable or whatnot
Yeah.
get stuck
I
in
think
place.
we've plugged into these things elsewhere, and if you want to use it, you kick the snow out of the way, you grab the thing, you plug it
Is
in
that
your
kind of the
car.
norm?
Yeah,
Okay.
we've got a charger on the outside of our house, and you trudge through snow if you want to get that power.
Mhm.
And I assume, as Gabrielle mentioned, the plowing is to the rear, and that's where the snow gets dumped, so that there shouldn't be a pile there.
Okay.
But if there is, it's the user's job to kick their way through the snow.
Hang a shovel there.
Yeah.
Becky wants to know what precautions are going to be put in place in case of damage to the chargers by someone who then drives away without connecting.
Without disconnecting from, meaning they're still plugged in when they drive away.
Or do you mean by like not alerting us, not connecting with us to let us know that they damaged it, kind of like a hit and run?
That would be part of the maintenance and operation insurance, and there's, anything that happens to the EV charger, you're going back to the company and you're asking them, hey, we've got a damaged charger, can you come out, send a technician to repair it? So that's part of the operation and maintenance expense that we would have to ensure that we had regular service available to us.
And I can speak to that, driving away while connected. I don't think that's possible. Even in my car, which is one of the like old ones now, it's 2018 Kia, it will not let you drive away while you are connected. I've tried. I can't do it.
It's not like at the gas pump where you can.
And I've done that.
Yeah, I think when you try to pull away, you get a warning on your
Alarm
screen
or
and the car
something,
will not
yeah.
move, because the
Yeah.
car knows you're plugged.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the Energy Committee's recommendation and seek funding for the Guardian proposal through private funding.
Second.
I think
Taking notes again.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Barrett, yes.
I really do appreciate the effort that the Energy Committee's put into this. I still don't feel that EV chargers are right for the town to host on town property, but I don't want it to seem like I don't appreciate the effort. I really do, but my vote is no.
what is yes?
Robert Snow, and I would doubt that there's going to be zero maintenance along with these as far as snow removal and other things, but I guess we'll wait to find out this winter when Rick is out there snow blowing or shoveling the snow away.
Okay, looks like 3-2.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Okay.
I just want to clarify something based on what Emery said. My understanding was that fees get charged, part of it pays the electric bill, part of it goes into a fund that is a maintenance fund, right? That repairs damages, that gets saved up to replace these things when they come due 10 years from now.
We could choose to do that. What we're covering is the maintenance costs that we have a maintenance contract with the
Right.
provider.
Mhm.
So if something happens to the charging station, they come.
Okay,
And they're providing operation and maintenance and upkeep, and they're monitoring it. We have a dashboard, and anything that goes wrong, we want to minimize downtime, so we call them and they come and repair it
and can we adjust rates at any time?
anytime.
So if we did see, like, Emery's point is true, that for whatever reason, we end up having Rick, when he's shoveling everything else, doing additional maintenance, we can say you need to adjust the
Up the
fees to be able to compensate either the town for Rick's time or to hire somebody else to do it if Rick's already doing too much.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
Is it a flat fee or is it a percentage of the usage or the annual?
It gets complicated. There's
Okay.
a lot of different ways to charge people for how they charge. Fixed time, how much energy they use. The
Gotcha.
first hour is this much, the second hour is that much.
Okay,
But we have 100% control over what we charge.
good to know.
So,
And just to clarify, the maintenance contract with the vendor is covered through the charge?
user fees.
Through user fees, thank you. Okay.
Anything else on that?
I can add a footnote, TJ McAndrew from Tamworth. Charger networks are in apps and people often comment on stuff. They'll say things like, this charger wasn't working on this day, or this charger was blocked by snow, or something like that. So there's a network of users who actively use it that communicate and add comments in the app that are also visible to the companies that run them.
And so one more comment on this, and I'm sure we'll move forward, but Becky says, no person shall park in a space equipped with a public electric vehicle charging station unless such person is operating a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or battery electric vehicle per RSA section 236-134. So we will be losing 2 additional parking spaces. Yeah, and I think everyone was aware of that.
And as the count of the parking spaces in the village, including the town office and the additional remote parking space up there, we're going to be below with a 1.5% of the current New Hampshire electric fleet being electric. having 2 spaces here, we're below that threshold. So, and we know that it's gonna grow to 5 to 10% of the vehicle fleet in 5 years. So we're keeping pace. We're not ahead of the curve, we're not behind the curve terribly. So it feels like right sizing, whereas, 4 was maybe more aggressive than we wanted to go right now. 2 feels like it's on par, given the number of electric cars that we have in town and of our visitors. And I just also wanted to thank, I'd be remiss, since this is hopefully the last time we talk about this, to thank TCNA for being so foresighted and really wanting to have electric vehicle charging in town and putting in the conduit that's allowed us to do this and really saved the town a lot of expense in terms of the initial installation. I know it was before your time, but you were there. So.
Okay, let's move on.
Can we actually, while Julie is here, because I think this is the only reason why she popped in, can
Oh, yeah.
you, if you feel so moved, approve the White House conservation easement, and then she can notarize that signature right now?
Okay, from the signature file. I make a motion to approve the White House Conservation Easement deed.
Second.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Roll call vote.
You say yes?
Barry, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Price, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Okay. You sign that? She stamps it. Thank you. Okay.
Are you really free sailor?
I was actually.
So then Gabrielle, while they're working on that real quick, so you will keep me, the committee will keep me posted on Grant, how that progresses? Okay,
We have 2 potential sources.
okay, great.
Okay, so now we're gonna go back and discuss heat recovery ventilators, energy improvement options.
Yep, so last meeting, if you remember, we talked about the cost of the heat recovery ventilators, looked at the propane versus electric cost, and decided it might not be the best option for this town office, but Rick and I talked about, and also with the Energy Committee, what other options we had, and a good option seemed to update the 2 oil furnaces over at the townhouse, which are upwards of 25 years old and need to be replaced. Rick met with 2 different companies to come give quotes. Rowell's, who also quoted us on the heat recovery ventilators.
This is their bid right here.
They gave us a price of $21,549.46. And then we also had Air Duct Plus LLC. They're the company that currently service our HVAC systems, and they gave us a price of $12,500.
For
Same
2?
unit? Same units?
2 units.
It seems to be the same unit. I mean, they're both quoting this Conforto furnace.
Yeah.
I believe we can check that.
Sounds like Rowell's is busy.
Well, we also know how much money we have.
Yeah, and they're, right, well, that's
Not
part
much.
of it.
No, they know that we've
No,
got
this is
this
the
money to
grant.
spend, we've got to spend this money.
Right, we had encumbered 23,000 and change, 23,810. So Riles did know how much we were going to spend on the heat recovery ventilators, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. But yeah, so
And much of it is ARPA money, not
15 of it is ARPA funds.
Tamworth taxpayer money.
Both vendors can actually get it done next week,
Wow.
as soon as next week if we wanted to. So, do you want to add in anything?
I mean, just that if there were funds left over, if you went for the lower bid, there are other energy projects that could be done in the townhouse, that there's an ongoing window restoration project that they completed 3 windows, and there are, I believe, 6 additional windows to be professionally restored with, maintaining the historic value of the building, that will help air seal those windows, and if there were enough money to do interior storm windows on that to really increase the insulation capacity of those windows, it would be lovely if there were capacity for that.
Yeah.
Of the total, how much is ARPA? Was it
15,000 of it is ARPA, so that, I really would rather not give that back and deal with that headache. So I'd really like to get these projects done this year.
And the windows are in kind of tough shape, aren't they?
The 3 worst are done. The one was just finished. Is it 4 or 3?
Well, she did, I thought last year she did 3.
I think
Or was
last
that-
year she did 3 and this year she did 4. And I don't know how, I
Oh,
was.
sashes. I think it's. I'm not sure if those are windows or
Thank you,
sashes.
Julie.
Or maybe that's
She did the worst of them.
Yeah.
What Jeannie has proposed is, let's do 1 a year to get them all up to a maintenance level, so they're all restored. But if we could use the ARPA money for that instead of our property taxes here, that would make sense. If you add the 2 furnaces with the low bid, for 1 window, we're under 15,000. If we do 2 furnaces and 2 windows, it's 15,761 and change. So how much, so it was 15,000 ARPA money.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense to do 2 furnaces and at least 1 window, if not 2.
Probably do 2 windows, that way we're burning up all the ARPA money, and then just a small amount of.
And it's $761.
Yeah.
She quoted us at 1,750 per window, I believe.
Correct.
So we could do,
We can do 2 windows and the furnaces, and the total price would be $15,761.64. So I would move we do that.
Second.
Are we sure that, I'm just looking at pricing for that unit, are we sure that Air Duct Plus was quoting 2 and not 1
yes,
units?
I have them here. I didn't want to print my copy.
Because the furnace, it's not like a boiler. Furnaces are cheap. They're cheap and they're small. Boiler is big and expensive.
Yeah.
There's,
Nowadays, they're like as big as that, little plastic bookcase.
and I talked with Jean Chester, who did the windows. She said she could fit us in this fall, so this was all good news to me. Because we
Yeah.
got
I'm
this
surprised
all-
anybody can get it all done in such short time.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if he had a price on the units themselves.
So we had a motion. Right?
Yeah, we're in discussion of that.
We did have some, okay.
Air Duct does clearly say, dispose of 2, bring in 2.
Are they similar brands? Is it?
Same one.
Same brand,
Yeah.
yeah. Right?
I think somebody wants the job more than the other.
It sounds like that.
Oh.
And again, since Rouse knew the money we were spending,
This is Granby.
because it was,
AFGF.
they knew the prior project.
They're different units
Oh, they
on the
are?
quotes. They're both Conforto, but Air Duct Plus is Beckett AFGF.
Oh, and this
And
one's
then
Granby?
the other one's Granby
Oh, I just looked at the Conforto.
Lowboy.
Yeah, Boy KLF 200.
What does that all mean?
It's kind of like a
Doesn't
amount of
matter.
BTUs or.
I'll make my
Yeah,
motion
BTUs.
contingent upon Rick discussing the 2 units with the 2 bidders to make sure it's comparable.
Let me just look real quick to see what
For the
the
square footage
TVs
of the
are.
building and everything like that.
The
as far as
Rawls one
units.
says 66,000 to 91,000 BTU.
Right, and now I'm looking up the Beckett. Oh, here's the menu.
You said and 2 windows?
Yep.
Specs.
Contingent upon Rick looking at improving the model.
Yep. the model in the air duct bid.
Okay.
I can't see that small even with my glasses on. That's the low bid specs. I don't see the BTUs on it.
Well, I believe he said he could adjust the BTUs, so,
Well, that's why this one from Rowell is 66 to 91, that's a pretty broad range.
yeah.
You just either put in a different nozzle or...
Different Howdy.
Yeah, the gentleman from Rouse explained to me that the furnace we have now is set to 120, and that was like oversized for what we have there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is all over my head, I just needed the...
Yeah, and the Rowell's description of the unit includes the BTUs for that unit. This is a different unit, so we're just seeing if it's comparable.
This is listing 3 different inputs of BTUs ranging from 56,000 to 385,000.
So that's gonna depend on what
So whatever.
orifice you use
nozzle
to,
they're using.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, do you want
Well,
to...
if it's contingent on Rick
Mm-hmm.
making sure that these are apples to apples and that the low bid actually meets the needs.
Yep, I'll check in with Rick. He was there when he met with both
Yeah, you bet.
contractors, so. But, okay, so I have Doucette making the motion. Was there a second?
Second.
I think I second.
I think you seconded it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess you're throwing me all off.
It's my fault, blame me.
You have a roll call vote?
Roll call vote.
You say yes?
Fair, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Dennis, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Okay.
So then,
So,
we still have money to spend.
well,
We have money, but it was taken from the unassigned fund balance.
Oh, so
That
we
should
give it
just go back to the tax.
Oh, good. That's not,
So it'll be 7,000 plus.
We
going
used
back
all
to
the
tax.
ARPA money.
Yep. So instead of using 8,000 from property taxes,
yeah,
we'll use 760.
And if they're not comparable furnaces, then we
yeah,
We're doing the original
start this
plan.
process over.
yeah,
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Not
in
start
weeks,
the
I guess.
process over, but come back and
Yeah.
decide
Yeah.
what we're gonna do.
yeah.
okay. Okay. That's that. I'm gonna share my screen and we've got, there's copies of the budget too. I'm gonna move forward with this part.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, try to make it so we can see. Becky did catch that in the one I originally posted on the website. I had a typo in the salaries for the select board for 2024 actuals, so I just corrected that, but, and I'll
Hope he
just.
finally get his raise. He's
It was actually a,
I already looked at that. That was the
Went
first
down.
thing.
I was missing a
That's
zero.
exactly what I did too.
And just for my 2025 actuals, I mean, I put these in, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and those obviously aren't an accurate picture, so,
Don't see her to date then.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're really looking to compare, we're looking at the 2025 budget versus the 2026 proposed. So the select board, not much changed there. I did.
Percent difference, 0.
Who do you still do newspaper advertising for? Jobs?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Jobs, but also
Bid
Oh,
solicitations.
kids, yeah. Okay.
And like public hearings and
hearings.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I thought we didn't have to do newspapers anymore.
Oh, no, we still do,
You
for
still,
lots of
yeah.
public notices.
Oh, that was the planning board that voted to change that, not.
They don't have to do them?
No, if you look at the RSA, you have to like use the most commonly accessible, blah, blah.
Yeah, a lot of RSAs say you have to do newspaper. And actually, I just looked up and saw Kim and remembered that, trying to get Kim out of here at a reasonable hour. Do you
that's
mind
okay.
if we look at the town clerk
Oh,
tax
yeah,
collector's
good idea.
budget first? So just take your time and ask Kim if you have any questions.
So I did do, as you can tell, the 3% I had
Oh, you did
been
that?
factored in that.
Okay.
Just so you know. I wasn't sure if it was gonna go, but I put it there anyway, just to let you know.
I did the same thing with mine, I was taking up for example.
Easier to ask forgiveness than it is.
There you go.
That's right.
And more of the increases is that, obviously it's an election year. So you're gonna see the election material line. And what was voted in started January 26 is that the HAVA disability booth that we have, when there's state and federal elections, there's a tablet that the state pays for that is in there for someone to process a ballot. And it was voted and passed for it to be continued with local elections. So the price for that is, to program, is, I believe it's $600 per ballot for our town and school election.
Per ballot,
Per ballot?
I mean, per ballot, well,
election?
per election, I'm just thankful right now we're not an SB2 town, because for an SB2 town, you have to pay because you're voting by ballot,
Right.
and you have to pay for every ballot. Actually, the first through 5 ballots, if you will, in an election is a minimum of $600. So unfortunately, we have one for each, and they're 2 different elections, so they charge us the $600 a piece.
Becky's curious, when will we have the increase for health insurance? Was that already included? We won't have that until mid-October. Becky, so we'll have to update those. These are still 2025 rates.
So I know that you had the 4,000 for the part-time
Yes.
line,
Yep.
and that was when Lee retired, you said, if you needed to pull her back in. And do you anticipate that that's actually gonna be a thing?
That may not be a thing, but I wouldn't suggest removing it, because if you end up in a jam between the 2 full-times, or if something changes with that, I think you want to have somebody that could step in or be trained, or a lot of clerks, what I'm seeing on my Google group,
Yeah.
some of them are asking clerks from other towns that are maybe
Okay.
only working part-time to come fill in, because not often, like I'm right now looking at, Hillary and I are both going Friday morning, the 19th, the week from this Friday, to a conference at the Grants in the Settlers Green, the Grant Summit. And so I'm gonna close the office that morning so that she can attend with me. If I had a part-timer, I would ask that part-timer to cover the office for that, if we did. It's hard to say, there's, different towns use different software, but if you put it out early enough and you know something's come up, that there could be somebody, possibly to come in, and you'd have that little bit of line for that
So it's just not
coverage.
dependent on Libby, is what I'm saying.
Correct. Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry, yes.
Yeah,
No, it's
that's what I was
not.
getting at.
No,
So there
no, it's not.
there is some
Because
kind of
Libby's kind of melded into the full-time, because even though I think what happened was, even though she was part-time, our salary line, when it got brought back in, without my warrant article, it was just all one line, and I can't remember if there wasn't a part-time, or was or wasn't. Because if you look at 24, that total in that year, Libby retired
Right,
in July, and then I had my full-time start in September, I think.
right.
So that kind of, between the lines, that was the total for the year. But 6 months was part-time, and then 5 months or so was full-time for that 24 year anyway.
Okay,
So
thanks.
outsourcing of tax bills,
They covered, yep, that is between postage increase and what they just let me know was, and they're a wonderful company, and we've been doing this since, I'm gonna say 08 or 09 maybe, but they haven't raised their rate, and they're just finding now that they're, after all this time and with things going, I guess the envelopes are going crazy for some reason, the cost of envelopes. But anyway, they're looking at possibly raising the, will be July bill maybe, by 5 cents. It's 28 cents right now, and they're looking at 5 cents. which when I look at the ballots to be printed, when we have to pay for our ballots for town elections, they're at 32 to 36 cents a ballot. So the tax bills are looking from 28 to going to 33. So it's not out of the ballpark, you know what I'm saying? So, and over the years, it's just, I've inched it up with the postage increases for the most part.
Yep.
And the due subscription to training, I'd like to leave where it is, and I have for some years. Hillary is involved in a certification program, and it's out for a full week in the beginning of August every year for 4 years. So she just did her first year this year. And that includes any workshops or conferences that we go to over the course of the year. And I've been commuting all my years. So if someone were to, you know, ask for a hotel room and stay and that kind of thing, I haven't really included that amount of money in here. Most of the conferences are held within a reasonable distance. If they were in North Conway, I never asked for a reimbursement for it. I'd go shopping afterwards. But if it was further up or further away, then I would ask for the mileage. So that may be in the future, if someone plans on staying over, that may be a difference later on.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sure. Can I just make one comment on I know there's no one here for the election. I just wanted to make a comment on the food one. I'd like to make that $7.50 instead of $600, because the food prices have gone up.
Yes. Yeah.
So we usually can get away with lunch and dinner for just around a couple $100 or just over, but then just to have the coffee and the stuff in the morning is where that extra $50 might fall.
$7.50?
$7.50 if we can. That's $2.50 an election, we've got 3
Yeah.
elections.
It's astonishing how important it is to be fed when you're standing there all day
All
long.
day, I
It's
know.
like, oh, it breaks it up.
Otherwise, I don't know much more of the election part. Sharon usually does that section, so, and she usually has a pretty good grasp on that, so.
Yeah, with there being more elections this year than last year, that's why the salary
Yeah, that's why
line
she's-
and everything else kind of reflects that
Yeah.
increase, yeah. But it's actually less than our 2024 actuals, so.
Yeah, in 2024 had the presidential primary.
Oh, that's
why.
right.
So it had the 4 elections instead of 3.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Kim.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kim. Alright. We'll go up to my town admin's budget.
So we are clear on the select board pay, we're all good with that.
Begrudgingly.
Entertain a motion, Emery.
You know, we've gotten coals every year since I've been here, we're doing all right, I might retire.
I thought you said coal, like in your stocking.
No.
I was like, oh,
Cola. Coca-Cola.
okay.
So you'll see like the biggest, difference obviously is now we have 2 full-timers instead of 1 full-timer, 2 part-timers. But I was actually able to cut the budget from last year. I think Keats was a little, well, no, I won't blame it. I'm not throwing Keats under the bus. I'll own this. We were all expecting to have to spend more on training, knowing that Elaine was leaving and we were hiring somebody new, but shockingly, we haven't needed it. So obviously that training line, I brought down quite a bit. Still think 2,000 is a fair amount, knowing that Michaela and I actually really like to take advantage of as many training sessions as we can get from the New Hampshire Municipal Association. So
What's professional services for?
professional services is like MTS, or if I needed Nancy Cavalieri for any sort of accounting experience, yeah.
And the insurance, are you guessing, or is that just?
Health insurance rates, those are based on 2025 rates. I'll get new ones
In October.
in October, so
Yeah.
I'll update that one.
still on professional services, there's
Yep.
4,000 budget for 25, you've used 2,066 to date, and you're only budgeting 2,000 for next year.
It was a transition year with Michaela
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
year.
Just wondering.
We're actually talking about letting go of the payroll services that we've been paying for. Michaela feels like she can take that over. It's been, there's actually, MTS hired somebody new and they've actually made a couple mistakes that Michaela has caught, and she's like, it'd be easier for me to just do it. We started paying for that thinking it would lighten the workload, and it's actually, I just don't think it's worth it, so.
How much does it cost?
It's like $675 a month. It's not cheap.
And how many employees are we talking about?
13.
For our employees?
Yeah.
For payroll?
Yeah.
We have like 23?
Oh, why did I think it was less? Is it 13 full-time?
We have 11 full-time.
11
I was
full-time.
wrong all the way around. I know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were close to the full.
I had the 11 in there too, but that was the full-timers.
And I'm jumping around, well, I guess we've been jumping around a little bit, but if I go through this line by line. Training,
I think,
Well, considering we're gonna talk about insurance later,
and coming in under 6.7%, that's a good example for other departments. Not that nobody else is gonna beat it, so.
yeah,
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Throwing down the gauntlet.
let's see. Okay, and then, yeah, we already did elections. I mean, unless you have any more questions about that, let's skip ahead to data processing. Software applications. Hopefully this doesn't mess this up. Software applications is ClerkWorks, which Kim uses, Avatar, which is our assessing, and MTS, which is our budgeting side. I just applied a 3% increase because I'm still getting those contracts in, but I thought a 3% increase was a safe bet. Internet services spectrum, again, I applied a 3% increase. Civic Plus, you'll see a jump here. I mentioned a few months ago that our website is transitioning. There was an increase, not huge, but our Civic Plus hosting fee is increased. But I think it'll be worth it. It's gonna be a much, yeah. And that was supposed to be ready at the end of August, but like everything, it was delayed, and I have a new launch date of, I think, September 19th, so it's not too far away. Lakes Region Computer, I put this, a 3% increase, but they're supposed to be getting me a new contract for 2026 by the end of this week. I didn't really know what this supplies and training line was for. We haven't used it. I'm trying to think of supplies and training for data processing. I don't know. So I didn't put anything in there. And the hardware upgrade, we budgeted a lot. We budgeted $12,000 last year for the new server. It ended up being $12,394. I chatted with, again, Lakes Region Computer. I put in $2,000 just as like a buffer, knowing that, you know, a computer might need to be replaced, but they're actually getting back to me with a list of kind of what PCs need to be updated. But we did like 5 over the course of the last 2 years, so I don't think that there's too many.
Have they provided us a sheet of what we're currently running? I'm assuming there's wanting to keep us inside supported OSs and so forth. But
So they sent me a link to look at that, and then it prompted me through all these like security things that I couldn't open it. And I sent him a screenshot of it, and I was like, this is why I get frustrated with Lakes Region Computer, because they're too safe. I couldn't access the document they were trying to send me, but yes, I think that's what he and I are working on. So expect these numbers to change, but I don't think they'll change too drastically.
you want me to review any of that with you? Just
That'd be great, because again, much like furnaces, it's over my head. Assessing, This is just our regular contract with our assessor, our annual contract.
When does that contract renew?
It's 5 years, so I think we did it last year, so this will be year 2. Mapping, which is they do our tax maps. CAI. I always want to say CIA. And then registry of deeds, it's just what the fees that we pay to record deeds. Our town attorney, this is more of like my goal is to not increase this. I try to use the New Hampshire Municipal Association free legal advice. I bother them every day, but that's where I try to go first. So my goal is to keep that line
Thank you.
at 35. And then the personnel, these are just background checks, drug and alcohol tests. I don't expect those to change too much, so I kept those the same.
That's good.
Stellar.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, yours is an easy one.
That's awesome.
Yeah? Yeah, mine's not too bad.
All right, we'll move right to your administrator report.
Sure, so, my first order of business is asking you folks if you want to stay with 6 o'clock or if you're ready to bump it up to 5 now with it getting darker. You think I'm right?
I know, I'm
Not gonna,
you're
I'm
not
good with whatever, I don't.
Very reluctant to go.
I know,
with
it's
that.
Emery that we're,
That's the right call.
I
just don't want it.
Not even like
sleep
another
right now.
month. Not like another meeting or two.
Can I pause for 1 second? Think about that for a second, because I didn't see, when I was sharing my screen, Becky, I didn't see that you had questions about the budget, and that's the whole point of doing this, is so we get some public questions, so, we answered your question about the health insurance. Are the elections calculated at 3% increase?
The election workers?
The election workers,
I think Kim said yes, she had factored in 3%. Well, that was for.
No, that was for hers.
she did for hers. Sharon I think Sharon does it, I don't think Sharon calculated an increase, I think she just does it for election. And do we know why the audit services were so much less this year than 2024 actuals? I still don't have, I have to actually check with our auditors. I don't know if I'm supposed to be getting another bill. We haven't received our 2024 report yet. I just got the MS 535 2 weeks ago. So I'll have to check with them. They have calculated them in before at the COLA of the town. Okay, I'll check with Sharon. Any other questions on my budget or the elections or anything? Nope.
I could go until, for you, Emery, the 1st of October. The first meeting in October. Give you September.
What is that, 2 more meetings? I don't,
Three.
whatever works, I'm good with whatever. An hour's not gonna make that much difference in my life.
No.
Yeah.
You're about to have a baby.
You ready to get home earlier?
I'd rather go earlier, yeah.
yeah.
I like to have dinner earlier,
I'd go to
but if
5.
you move it early, let's try not to just use up that time and go home at the same time.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
no,
Get
no,
home
no.
early.
That's a
Yeah.
good
I
concept.
like that idea.
Yeah,
Great plan.
good.
Alright, so in favor of moving to 5 o'clock.
Yes.
So starting next week.
Okay.
Alright, great.
It's the
But we're
annual
going,
change
and
in
we're also going to
semi-annual
weekly, right?
change.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
Are we
yeah.
going weekly every week now?
Yeah, I have all department heads scheduled
Scheduled to
now
come
for
in.
the next
Yeah.
September and October
I
to do
might-
budget review.
I could probably do it over Zoom, but I might be missing a meeting Tuesdays. So like potentially like sometime I might miss a couple meetings in October.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you go.
Hmm?
Because you go in the
No, not
Midwest.
for hunting. We're working away, so we might be staying away for a couple
Well,
weeks.
So does that mean our next meeting is next week?
Yeah.
yeah, at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Try to remember.
So I've been attending the monthly CIP committee meetings. They have their public hearing tomorrow to review. It's posted to our website if you want to take a look. But basically, it's finally all kind of clicked in my mind now that this part of our budget where we talk about capital improvements, that's what the CIP recommends to you
That's
folks. I mean, a lot of it we already know because we keep in close touch with our department heads, and we know when Richard Roberts needs to do a bridge. We know when the fire department needs to buy a fire truck, but the CIP does a good job so that we're not hit with all those expenses in 1 year, just to plan it out. So after their public hearing, whatever the next select board meeting is, they'll come and make their little presentation to you guys. I already told you guys about Civic Plus. I think, Ed, I did mention to you that we will have searchable PDF meeting minutes, which will be helpful for everybody. The Tamworth Road property that was donated to the town that we're holding our community listening sessions at. Rick just wanted me to update you guys that he's been down there mowing and doing some cleaning up of branches and trees and stuff, so we had to remove the cinder blocks, but he put up a chain and no trespassing signs. I did double check, that is on our Primex, we're insured over there, everything's okay. Franchise agreement, just to update you guys, because I wanted to not let it go from the last time when we had their public hearing, public comment, I think it was Mark Debitetto asked me, like, why don't we have this agreement with Fidium? This is specifically for cable TV services, which Fidium doesn't offer.
That makes sense.
Ambulance agreement, they did correct their billing side of things, so that the amount we were overcharged has been reflected in our last round of billing. But I'm still, Steve, we talked about like them not holding up their end of the contract as far as having free
trucks available.
Trucks available, so that meeting's in October, so I plan on going, and maybe one of you folks want to join me. That's all I've got. It's just been busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to the select board update.
The transfer station update, Emily had noticed that the New Hampshire Beautiful Grant Program had sent her something, and that's something that I had planned on pursuing but had forgot about. So they have two different programs. One is for they'll fund signage at your transfer station. So I put together a list of signs I think we could use and sent that to Emily and to Brian, and they'll chat about it and see if we get funding for that. They also have equipment grants, so I need to look into that and see how does it work. Do you get reimbursed after you buy it, or do you have to get the grant before you commit to it, that sort of thing. They have a rolling program several times a year. The next deadline is September 25th, which is right around the corner, so it'd be hard to say if the equipment grant probably won't meet that deadline, but maybe the signs will. I spoke with HEB today on the phone. We're scheduling a progress meeting for next week to look at the site plan. This is a copy of the latest site plan that I got about an hour ago. I've got one extra. Maybe Bruno wants it. So again, it just shows the proposed location of a recycling building in front of the chip where the brush pile is, with the loading dock and storage containers for build materials. One thing that I've noted and sent an email to Eric at HEB is you see the glass container immediately to the south of the recycling building. The building needs to move north because it needs 5 or 6 feet, I think, on both sides.
And the container can't move south?
No, because it's right up against the wetland.
Okay.
And if you look at the space north of the building, there's all kinds of space there.
Yeah.
So you can just move the building toward the loading dock.
Yeah.
And you could even move the loading dock toward the storage containers as well. You don't need 12 feet for that. And so you're tight on the south to the wetlands, you're tight on the north to the septic system. But there just seems to be enough place. One question Eric had is do we want to pave the area in front and around the building? And I told him, well, if we had the money, we probably would. But we don't know if you have the money till you know how much the building costs. So I said, well, he gave me an estimate of 25,000 to pave that. And, at the last second, we could try to commit to that once we know how much the building costs. So we'll try to have a progress meeting on the phone next week with Eric. And because the site plan is pretty much done, and then he'll start to work on the interior of the building. I did meet with Brian on site and went over the plan with Brian yesterday. And talked about how the building would work, how you'd move the bale material into the containers, fill up the containers, and then when the truck comes, you start moving the bales into the truck. So there needs to be room for everything. And one thing that I don't think I mentioned at the last meeting is to try to find out how much space do you need in the bays for the loose material. It takes 40 yards of plastic containers, 40 yards to make one bale.
Oh my gosh.
That's number 2 plastic, so milk jugs and laundry detergent. I'm guessing because they're big and mostly what's in the bay is air. Whereas clear plastic, number 1 plastic, takes half that,
Really?
20 yards. Actually, it's like 17 and a half. So I was really surprised at that.
Yeah.
So that's key because you need a really big bay to store all your number 2 plastic before you start making a bale, because once you start loading the baler, that baler is tied up. So I've told the architect and the engineer we need very tall sidewalls, like 10 feet high, to hold 40 yards in at least one bay, maybe in 2 bays, just to be safe. So I'm anticipating there'll be a bay for number 2 plastic, number 1 plastic, aluminum cans, cardboard, and then 2 for balers. And the paper you can probably stack up right in front of the baler, so you end up with an extra bay, which is handy to put up that extra plastic that you probably need a place to put it. So trying to find a way to utilize the space and not tie up a baler for weeks to wait for more plastic to come, and that's a bit of a challenge, but we can pull it off.
Do we have an idea with a similar sized town how much the volume of plastic we could expect? Is it going to take a really long time to get 40 yards?
Good question. I should chat with the folks in Ashland. That was the town that was most similar, to see how long that would take. I think everybody thinks the cardboard is going to fill up fast, because the pile of cardboard in my barn is quite large. But plastic, I don't store it up, so I don't know how much I have. So offhand, I don't know, but that's a good question. I think the plastic, it's going to take several weeks to get enough plastic to make a bale, but it might be a few months.
Right.
My guess is the cardboard and the paper is going to be baled fast. So I think we'll probably bale paper and cardboard as we go, as it comes in. Tie the balers with that. And once you see that plastic is at the right size, make a bale of paper or plastic, and then clean it out, and then start loading one of those balers with the plastic. So it's hard to do with one baler, so that's why everybody recommends get 2 balers. In Ashland, they got an extra baler just for paper. They got it for $1,000, because an Ocean State job lot was closing and they were selling their stuff. So if anybody knows of any places that bale cardboard that might be closing, let me know, we'll go buy the baler. Because they're, $14,000 a piece.
TJ had said that there might be something they have over there, I thought, too, at Ossipee.
Oh, they might have one baler-wise.
They have them, and I don't know if they use them.
Right.
So,
We
yeah.
talked last.
Okay. I'll look into that.
They're vertical ones if they don't like,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they see them anymore.
That's all I got.
Okay. I went to the library trustees meeting last night. You may or may not have noticed, but the solar panels are installed on the back of the library. And the electrical units inside, that's done. They really were just waiting for Eversource comes to take a look at it to make sure that it's going to be safe as far as the electronics go. And I think as soon as they sign off on it, they can fire it up. So that should be I don't know how long Eversource will take to get there, but that could be pretty quick. It'll be operational. Let's see. Oh, yeah, they're going to be at the CIP meeting. Oh, also they have the money raised for the lift They need a new elevator, and the money was raised partly through grants and donations, and so they can move forward on that project.
Can you remind me why that had to be replaced?
It was old, and the maintenance, I mean, the guys who came to do maintenance said, oh, we can't even get parts for this anymore. I mean,
Really?
yeah, it's not that old either.
No, I mean, we've got one that's been there since 2002,
Yeah, I know.
and we use it probably as much as the library. So,
Really?
yeah, not that often.
Well, the library might use it quite a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime we had a TCNA meeting, it would be 3 or 4 trips up and down
Yeah.
for,
It
one
takes forever.
meeting.
So anyway, they've got the money, that's gonna move forward. Cool.
That's great.
I think that was all the interesting stuff from the library. They are working on their strategic plan for 26 through 28. And some of the demographics they get together are interesting for us as well. So that'll be kind of doing work that we might be doing. Traffic committee is scheduled for next Monday to have a meeting, but the agenda's on the website. I think that's all I have.
Nothing for me.
I didn't go to the planning board meeting last month, and the only thing I have is to see if you had any questions about my report last meeting about the listening session. Was
Oh.
that pretty clear?
Yeah.
What is presented?
Down at the property and then
Yeah.
the next day up here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Nothing from me, if you were gonna ask.
I had a question for you. Statement that you brought up at some point, that we should probably notice that there's gonna be a possibility of having a quorum with
Yeah.
multiple different
Yeah.
ones. Is that already taken care of?
No, but it's on my long to-do
Okay.
list. I won't forget. And I have public input. Becky had a comment.
Okay.
She's concerned about the cost of living increase due to the fact that Social Security is only going to increase by 2.7%, which is about $49 for most. Medicare Part B is increasing 11.23%, going up from $185 to $206.50. Part D is going up 6%. This is in addition to the large increase of all electricity for everyone. The elderly townspeople are going to be facing harder times. I have just a comment on that, Becky, that I agree with you. And I think our town did a good job at addressing that at the town meeting last year by way of exemptions. We increased our exemptions amount. But I don't know that not giving the employees cost of living adjustments justifies, that's not, I don't think that's where it should be shown in the budget.
I'm not sure it's been decided what the Social Security COLA is.
I think October 15th is
Yeah.
when it'll be.
Like lots happening October
Yeah.
15th.
Yeah, October is a big month.
So it may be 3%. Anyway, thank you for the comment. Is there any other public input? Yes, Ed?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Was there any confirmation was there a public vote to take the standard allowance for the ARPA funding?
I don't know.
I think you're gonna look back at the minutes.
Did I
And
say
that-
it to that? Okay.
But do you recall approximately when was the vote? Is that in your very detailed notebook there?
Yeah.
It's on the website, I'd have to check it, but I don't have the exact date. But I don't recall it being voted on.
I have
That's
a
all.
vague recollection of it when Keith was the town administrator, but I'd have to look, once I have that
The
application on the website, it'll be easier to search. But I'll try my best to look back on.
And a follow-up?
If you can think of when it might be, I'm happy to come in and look through the paper copy of the minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Follow-up is Was there anything back from the US Treasury about the incorrect number and IDs that are on your reports?
Still nothing from the Treasury.
You are able to send in that error and correct it.
Okay,
I don't know if that happened.
yeah,
So the number should be correct on the forms.
okay.
I think there's a means for you to go on the portal and change that number, or claim that a mistake was made.
Yeah. I did report that to the secretary, just to be clear. They gave me back, they said they took all my comments, gave me a ticket number for where I'm in line, and I just haven't heard back
They're
anything
8
yet.
months behind, so.
Right, yeah, I think I said it last time, like, I'm pretty sure I'm low on their priority list.
Well, that's good, that way
Worse than
if
the DMV.
they do force an audit or something, at least you have that, you have paperwork that you've attempted to correct it.
Yep, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public input?
Well, it'd
Okay.
be nice to have you in public rather than,
Thank you.
We'll move to the signature file. Make motion to approve the select board public and non-public meeting minutes dated August 26, 2025. Roll call vote.
You say yes?
There, yes.
Schaefer, yeah.
Prentice abstains.
Roberts, yes.
You get my abstention, Emily.
We already
Yeah.
approved the White House conservation easement deed. Make a motion to approve the intent to cut for map 414, lots 10 and 11.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You say yes?
There, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes.
I make a motion to approve the junkyard license application for map 215, lot 36.
Second.
Is that Brooker?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we doing a walkthrough this year?
You guys done that fast?
Didn't we do
Yeah,
that
we-
already?
I've done it.
Did it all right.
No, I thought we had to do it every year.
Yeah, we do.
Didn't
But
we
I
haven't
think-
done one this year?
It's a
Oh,
blur.
okay, I did in there.
No, but we, the last time we did the walkthrough, we gave, like, one or two of us went and the town administrator.
I went.
Right.
Keats.
Yeah,
Roll call vote.
It's been a while.
Did you say yes?
There, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes.
Make a motion to approve the accounts payable in the amount of $584,742.16.
Second.
400,000 of it is the school payment, 99,000 for GMI asphalt. That would probably be the Turkey Street
Yeah.
job. I make a motion to adjourn at 7:35. I'm falling behind. I should be under the table.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, Emery.
See you, Ray. Good luck if I don't see you.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna need it.
Baby.
Baby.
I didn't realize that they were pregnant again.
Yeah, like the due date's the 17th, and he said that Arizona was 3 weeks premature.
I'll take every branch
It's the boy's name. His son, 5 weeks premature. Remember he was like,
I don't.
he was like 3 pounds. He was just born like 2 years ago. And this baby's like at, and the son was like in the second percentile,
Yeah,
and they induced because he was just not growing.
Yeah.
And this one's like 30th percentile. He's like,
yeah. It's gonna go a week late.
yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a monster baby.
So please take peaches, or
Oh, yeah.
I would love to take pictures with
Did you
that.
up on that?
Oh, right here.
Oh,
why don't you take the ever left? And make
Really?
some chutney. But let anybody else who wants them go ahead.
okay, that would be great.
go
I would happily do that.